Hey, you know that?
While John Taffer has always pulled out every stop in the book to rescue failing bars, that never stopped a ton of massive fights from happening. And what happened at this bar in Florida was wild. But I mean, it's Florida. Should come with the territory. Well, anyway, let's dive right into the juicy details of the Bridge Lounge in Tarpon Springs. The business was originally purchased by Bill Kladakis back in 2003 and later taken over by his son Manny and daughter Anna. Unfortunately, after Bill's passing in 2015, the bar faced a grim turn of events during the Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
She wants to know why we didn't fix the floor.
Here, why haven't you fixed the floor?
The impact hit hard since the Bridge Lounge was a fisherman's bar, resulting in major financial losses and leaving the establishment in a state of disarray.
I think that's like pretty, you know, seriously.
To assess the situation, Anna and her fiancé accompanied the renowned bar consultant John Taffer to take a good look at the troubled establishment.
She's worked up now. It's gonna take a lot to slow her down.
As part of their investigative efforts, they even sent in a spy to gather valuable insights. Now, brace yourself for some drama. The spies had quite the unpleasant experience when they finally received their drinks.
Is it normally like this in here?
Yikes. Turns out they used expired orange juice in their cocktails. You know, in one of the 4 biggest orange growing states in the country. As you do. But the drama didn't end there. Chrissy, another member of the Kladakis family, decided to confront Gary, the bar's manager, in a rather heated exchange.
It's a liability now. Are you insuring this
Want to see a
place?
liability? There you go.
Their dispute revolved around a hazardous broken floorboard that posed a threat to the safety of the employees. Needless to say, tensions ran high during this intense argument.
That's not a liability.
Both of them just couldn't resist trying to get the last word, but neither was willing to let it slide. It was honestly pretty annoying to watch.
Go in front of your customers, and your brother isn't doing anything about it.
So, here's the deal. Manny hired his friend Gary to manage the bar. But Chrissy was convinced that Gary was taking advantage of their friendship to make some extra cash. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Gary didn't seem bothered by the fact that there was a loose floorboard, and Chrissy wasn't impressed with his attitude at all. Things escalated pretty quickly when Chrissy finally blew up at Gary, and they both ended up having a big argument about all the issues at the bar.
You destroyed the bar. It never came out of your pocket. My mom is struggling. You!
And get this, it all went down right in front of the customers who just wanted a nice drink.
Bitch.
You're an idiot, man. You can see what you want about me.
Talk about unprofessionalism. Needless to say, those customers were definitely shocked by the whole drama.
Is it normally like this in here? This isn't a liability. I'm king off plywood.
As the argument continued to heat up, every person present there couldn't help but stare. I mean, it was an extremely uncomfortable situation. Since the tensions had escalated way too far, Manny seemed to be under a lot of stress. And to make things worse, guess what Chrissy did? This signaled to Taffer that it was time to intervene. Thankfully, the fight didn't go any further, and the situation was resolved without anyone's heads getting busted open. Well, that was one intense showdown. Surprisingly, this next episode was actually part of the original pilot for the show, although it didn't air until much later. But boy, when it finally did, it treated viewers to one of the wildest fights the show has ever seen. Before we dive into the epic battle, let's quickly refresh. So, this episode originally aired back in July of 2011 and focused on Taffer's mission to save the struggling South Park Bar and Grill from shutting down. And this place was about as much of a joke as the show of the same name. Now, this place was in desperate need of help because of its hot-headed owner. Jeff Melnikov had a knack for causing trouble at every turn. He just couldn't tolerate anything he considered less than worthy and would go as far as kicking out customers and employees who didn't meet his standards. Talk about a real nutcase. Right from the start, it was clear that Melnikov wasn't exactly thrilled about Taffer and his team's presence, even though they were there solely to help.
That's what I do.
He stubbornly stuck to his own ways and didn't bother acknowledging Taffer's wise words of advice. And that was made abundantly clear during the infamous stress test, where Melnikov parked himself at the corner of the bar, sporting a perpetually annoyed expression. Despite Taffer's suggestion to smile more and engage with the customers to boost his business, Melnikov wasn't quite as interested.
If I can make people think of you as a really nice, approachable guy, they're gonna feel better about
Quite the interesting character, I must say.
approachable. You're a little tough sometimes.
The owner reluctantly took the advice, but to his surprise, it actually helped. He admitted that Taffer's way of doing things did work. Who would have thought a man like him would admit to that?
Starting to feel good. I guess smiling's gonna get a little.
But this one good moment didn't mean that Melnikov changed his ways. What he did next will boggle your mind. When a customer unknowingly lit a cigarette inside the bar, Melnikov decided to take action. Without any prior warning, he went up to the unsuspecting customer and started to hurl a bunch of curse words at him. But check out what else he did. Things escalated so quickly that before the situation could be diffused, Melnikov began to forcefully push the customer outside the bar. The customer, who was literally minding their own business before the dude started manhandling him, reacted in about as reasonable a way as they possibly could. That is to say, within minutes, the two were engaged in a nasty brawl outside of the bar. The customer put up a good fight before eventually giving up. When Melnikov entered the bar real proud of himself, his customers appeared to be shocked with what they had just witnessed. But Melnikov did not care.
The cabin was an unbelievable disaster. All the progress we made.
Not only did he violently throw a customer out, but also threw out Taffer's hopes of turning things around. I guess some people never change. Well, this bar didn't manage to stay open for very long, largely due to the behavior of its hot-headed owner. Color me surprised. However, things at the next bar were even worse, as their actions could have potentially landed them in legal trouble. During a stress test at the Artful Dodger, a bar located in Long Island, New York, the owners came up with a very ill-conceived idea to attract more customers.
18-year-olds dancing, ruining the place.
Stop licking over on me.
Wasn't allowed.
They allowed customers under the age of 18 to enter the club with X's on their hands to signify their age, which is a very irresponsible and potentially illegal move.
You could be sued for serving somebody on 21. If you miss this, you'll frickin' miss anything.
As a result, the bar not only attracted underage drinkers, but also had hygiene issues, with bugs and flies being present all around. This was a major turnoff for customers and showed poor management and an absolute lack of cleanliness. During the investigation at the bar, it became clear to Taffer and the camera crew that the bar's current system was flawed, leading to issues such as underage drinking.
Use a friend's ID tonight to get in who's 18. She's been drinking his cocktail how long?
45 minutes.
The next thing you know, the chaotic crowd outside was captured on camera, unveiling the true state of the bar.
These kids are going crazy.
To demonstrate the poor security measures, Taffer enlisted the help of his undercover agent, Jenna.
Jenna's 23. I had her use a friend's ID tonight.
She used her 18-year-old friend's ID to purchase drinks and easily slipped through without raising any concerns. Now, this highlighted the lapse in security at the bar. As tensions escalated, a drunken woman was escorted out of the bar for her violent behavior. She screamed and shouted at the camera crew, vehemently demanding that they not film her. This incident was followed by another customer in the area chasing down the cameraman and physically attacking him, posing a real danger. Fortunately, the cameraman was able to maintain a safe distance and protect himself from the unruly crowd. Wow, the dude was literally running for his life. While this episode is a testament as to why underage drinking laws should be in place, this next episode featured a drunk bartender who was nothing but a bother to customers. In episode 29 of season 6, John Taffer and his team visited Crossroads Grill in Antioch, Tennessee to help owner Robert Gaddy and his wife Ashley. After purchasing the bar in 2015, Robert had to step back from running the place due to an injury. From there, one thing led to another, and it resulted in a steep decline in business.
We ain't got no catfish. They knew that, Julio.
After conducting an inspection, Taffer concluded that the staff was the main problem at the bar. However, hidden cameras placed in the bar revealed a deeper issue. The spies who were posing as customers noticed and reported that they waited an excessive amount of time for their orders, and they even overheard conversations in the kitchen that were concerning. The situation at Crossroads Grill became even more problematic as the hidden cameras captured several incidents that highlighted the lack of efficiency and poor communication within the staff. While the spies were waiting for their drinks and food, the bartenders continued to supply drinks to the kitchen, causing further delays and frustration.
There is
There's no control. These employees are comfortable acting like that in the presence of both their owners.
Yeah, they were the kind of business that didn't mind keeping the customers waiting while their employees got drunk on the job. To make things worse, there was a whole lot more inappropriate behavior going on while they were on the clock, all the while wearing their uniforms too.
These are employees.
However, the most notable issue was with Buns, the bartender, who not only insulted and cursed at customers, but also physically confronted a customer.
And shut the f up, I smack. What
The hell was that?
Thus forced other staff members and even Robert to intervene and defuse the situation.
Okay.
How did they make it?
The dangerous combination of alcohol consumption and inappropriate behavior on the job posed a significant risk to both the customers and the staff. As the staff attempted to calm Buns down, another argument erupted, this time between Bubbles and Buns. Bubbles, who was also intoxicated, escalated the situation by shoving Buns, further adding to the tense atmosphere at the bar.
Girl, get the f on with your jacket on. Who you think you is? Bitch, you think you Chris tonight, house?
These incidents reinforced the urgent need for improved training and management to address the staff's behavior and maintain a safe and welcoming environment. As tensions escalated at Crossroads Grill, the situation became even more chaotic. The hidden cameras captured Don Juan, the kitchen manager, laughing, suggesting that such incidents were not uncommon at the bar. Despite efforts to contain Buns' anger, the situation took a turn for the worse when she became even more furious.
Whoa!
In the heat of the argument, Buns took another swing at the customer who was involved in the altercation. This prompted the bouncer to step in and intervene, preventing Buns from causing further harm.
Y'all bitches won't see me numb out the rest of this week, and I swear to God, I'm clocking out. This is my last clock in.
However, Buns was not yet ready to back down and decided to shove the bouncer, further escalating the conflict. The situation grew increasingly intense, highlighting the urgent need for proper management, staff training, and a safe environment for customers and employees alike. Following this, Buns made a whole scene before finally quitting the job and leaving on her own. After witnessing the whole drama, Taffer only had this to say:
Uncontrolled step I've ever seen.
But this next bar sent the recon running to the bathroom, and all it took was a single sip of beer.
You don't verify anything. You can't even get 2 inches of chrome clean.
This time, John Taffer and Steve Blovet joined forces to rescue Fairways Golf and Grill, a bar located in Murfreesboro.
Oh, dude, you got monster broken and walking.
Spores. We breathing that stuff in.
Look at this!
During the recon phase, Taffer's undercover team ordered an extensive selection of drinks and food items, including everything on the menu. This presented a significant challenge for the overwhelmed chef, who had ceased serving many of the dishes that were ordered. Despite the pressure, the chef realized there was no way to back out and started working on preparing the requested dishes. Meanwhile, bartender Michelle took on the task as a personal challenge, striving to make drinks as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, expert mixologist Phil Wills was disappointed when he received only a small amount of the drink he had asked for, as it was the last remaining keg. He already had reservations about the drink before even tasting it, but as part of the reconnaissance, he proceeded to evaluate it. Right from the first sip, Will sensed that something was amiss with the beer. It was obvious it had gone bad, far beyond its expected shelf life of 3 months. As he tried to assess the drink, he started feeling increasingly uncomfortable. And, well, sparing you the gory details for now, but it was enough for Taffer to want to jump in and rescue the place immediately. In this situation, Phil Wills was hoping for better service from the chefs to compensate for the disastrous beer. However, what he discovered behind the closed doors of the kitchen was even more shocking.
What temperature is this, Steve?
68.7 degrees.
Throw it out! Good job, chef!
The chef showcased extremely unhygienic practices, which were a cause for concern. He handled food without using any gloves and failed to wash his hands properly. Wills observed the chef using his bare hands to segregate pork and then proceeded to transfer a pizza from a tray to a plate without any sanitation measures. The lack of hygiene and cross-contamination in the kitchen was evident.
Is there any mold on the inside of this walk-in?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so?
Look at the mold all over the floor!
To make matters worse, the chef used a bowl that appeared to have never been washed for ages and placed it on top of the food being cooked, much to John Taffer's disgust. Now, let's shift our focus to Wills, who was facing a completely different struggle. Just as the server brought food to their table, Wills started feeling uneasy and restless. While Chef Duffy, unaware of the unhygienic practices in the kitchen, was excited to receive the food, Wills hurriedly made his way towards the bathroom. And this is why he left in a hurry. Just a single sip of the beer was enough to turn Wills' stomach upside down. Now, think about what could happen if he were to consume all the food that had been contaminated in the kitchen. This particular bar had committed multiple health code violations, and there was no escaping John Taffer's wrath after that.
You don't verify anything. You can't even get 2 inches of chrome clean.
But in the next bar located in Kansas, there's more to witness than just bar patrons enjoying themselves. Brace yourself, because this special visit will be unlike anything you've seen before. Bill, the owner of Casey's bar, attempted to bend the rules in order to make a profit. Initially, it seemed to work for a few years. Since the state prohibited smoking in bars, Bill transformed his establishment into a members-only club, requiring interested patrons to pay a fee for access. As a private club, they could allow smoking, which led to instant profitability.
Medium rare. Well, whatever.
However, Bill's interest waned when health concerns started arising, and Ryan never made an effort to step up. Bill's work ethics were so abysmal that he insisted on overpouring drinks while partying alongside other patrons at the bar. Yeah, chalk this place up as yet another run by a washed-up dude who thought he was still in high school. On the other hand, Liz, the managing partner, had an agreement with the owner to purchase the business gradually and had some equity in it. Liz waited for the right time to make her move. She was the only one seen working persistently, but it was for the purpose of owning the business someday. Shauna, the bartender, was another story altogether. She drank on the job regularly, smoked cigarettes right behind the bar, and violated major health codes. Smoking was prohibited for employees in the bar, only customers were allowed to smoke. But the next scene will leave you shocked. We won't discuss what could be in the mug of beer at this point. During the recon, Taffer sent 2 undercover spies who were denied entry because they lacked a membership.
You guys actually have to have a membership. We just want to get a drink or whatever. We're not allowed to do that.
So, Taffer enlisted 2 members to order drinks that the bartender could not prepare. Soon after, we witnessed the bartender serving a martini in a pint glass, indicating that there was a lot of alcohol or olive juice in it.
So either there's an obscene amount of liquor in that, or it's olive.
To make matters worse, Shauna used the hand she was smoking with to pick out a few olives from the jar.
Oh, she's putting her hand. Oh, she's been
Same hand she was smoking with.
Oh, handling money.
It was a disgusting sight. And to add to the chaos, the bartender even added ice to the drink without the customer's request for it to be on the rocks.
Now the customer has to reach in and get that olive. That's just lazy.
When the customer raised the issue, instead of making a fresh drink, they simply told them to dig out the olives themselves and have the drink anyway. Phew! Clearly the bar had reached rock bottom. But how was the kitchen holding up? Were they meeting the necessary standards? Unfortunately, one glance at the fryer was enough to understand the dire situation in the kitchen.
Do you see the fryer?
I do.
It's bubbling. There is a layer of gunk.
There was an excessive amount of gunk at the bottom of the fryer, making it almost impossible to fry anything properly. Just look at all the froth bubbling out.
Okay, so we got a few hamburgers going down. Do you see the fryer?
When the food finally reached the undercover spies, one of them took a bite of the mozzarella stick, and it seemed like it was taking an unusually long time to chew.
Look at her face.
Yeah, it's not over.
Oh, you know really bad.
She kept chewing and chewing without showing any signs of giving up. Taffer and his team found the whole situation amusing and decided to time her. After a whole minute, the spy finally managed to swallow the food.
She's been chewing 20 seconds, 30 seconds, the same bite. Hold on.
Can you believe it? It took an entire minute to chew and swallow just a small bite of the cheese stick. It was time for the customers to try the burgers, and one of them ordered a medium rare Swiss and bacon cheeseburger. But what they received was a poorly cooked, disgustingly gray patty between 2 buns.
A gray chunk of meat.
When the customers raised the issue about the burgers, things started to get intense. Shauna, the bartender, began showing a major attitude towards the undercover spies. When they ordered 2 kamikaze shots, she simply ignored them as if they didn't exist.
Shauna!
She's done.
Can we get 2 kamikaze shots?
When Liz stepped in to make the shots for them, Shauna was so angry that she flicked them off.
Like he does on the show.
She just looks about.
Yes, she did.
It's safe to say that she had some nerve. The spies were in absolute shock, and let's not forget that they paid to be there. What Shauna did was incredibly disrespectful. But then, an uninvited guest made a surprise entry, causing the entire bar to shake up.
A raccoon.
By this point, Taffer had seen enough.
Drunk, drive home drunk, encourages his customers to be over intoxicated. He tells his employees.
There was actual wildlife running about in the bar. It was unbelievable. Taffer was furious and couldn't contain himself any longer.
Guys, I can't look at this. I'm done. Unbelievable. Raccoon!
There was a lot that needed to be addressed at that bar: the drunk owner, the disrespectful bartender, the unsanitary chef, and most importantly, the raccoon. But what went down in this next episode is even more crazier. In the 5th season of the show, John Taffer and his team visited the Russell City Grill and Sports Bar in Hayward, California. The bar's owner, Lee Bellotte, had initially seen success after purchasing the bar using his inheritance from his late mother. However, due to his lack of industry experience, the business started to decline. The situation at the bar was tumultuous, with the staff engaging in conflicts with both customers and each other. Adding to the chaos, Bello allowed his friends to make their own drinks, creating an atmosphere of lawlessness and disorder. The bartenders neglected their duties, spending more time drinking and fooling around instead of serving customers. Amidst this, Bello himself would often join his friends for a game of pool, seemingly oblivious to the disarray around him. One of his friends, Church, attempted to fix himself a drink at the bar, but El Boogie, the bartender, did not react positively to this intrusion. The situation at Russell City Grill and Sports Bar escalated rapidly when Church entered the bar area, seemingly looking to stir up trouble. When Boogie tried to prevent Church from advancing, tensions reached a boiling point. Boogie threw the first punch, causing Church's glasses to go flying. The fight intensified as Church and Boogie continued to clash. Bello's friends eventually intervened, attempting to separate the two, but their efforts were largely ineffective. In a fit of rage, Boogie even resorted to hurling chairs across the room, escalating the chaos further. It took the combined efforts of over 4 of Church's friends, including Bello himself, to finally break up the fight.
Look at him!
The situation had spiraled out of control to such an extent that authorities had to be called in to restore order.
Oh, police unit at those lights going, that's what'll come down. Exactly.
This is the perfect example of what happens when a bar is...
Witnessing this mayhem, John Taffer was undoubtedly taken aback by the severity of the situation.
They're still fighting. They've been fighting. Look, he will not stop. There's 4 people holding him back. You're bleeding. Go on back.
Such scenes underscore the dire need for intervention and restructuring at the Russell City Grill and Sports Bar, prompting Taffer and his team to step in and offer their professional expertise. So, can you think of more times when things got rough on the show? Don't forget to let me know in the comments below. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. And if you thought this video was crazy, make sure to check the next video right here. It's even better.